Good evening, and welcome. Before we begin our journey tonight, take just a moment to subscribe and leave a like. It means a lot. Now close your eyes, take a deep breath, and prepare for peaceful dreams. Night had fallen over the ancient lands of Egypt. A warm breeze gently touched the golden sands of the desert, and thousands of bright stars lit up the sky. The moon, big and calm, shone softly over the banks of the Nile, majestic, slowly flowing, and full of ancient secrets. In a small village, where people had wise eyes and peaceful hearts, lived a boy named Amar. Amar loved to listen to stories about great pharaohs, endless sands, and stars that seemed to guard the night sky. One evening, when the stars had already filled the sky, Amar lay down in his small bed, wrapped himself in a light linen blanket, and closed his eyes. Soon, he felt a gentle sleep carrying him far away. Suddenly, a light boat appeared before him, decorated with golden and azure patterns. On its prow sat a majestic heron, a bird with a long neck and shining eyes like two little stars. "Welcome to the night journey on the Nile," the heron said softly and gently. "I will be your guide." Amar carefully sat in the boat, and it quietly floated over the mirrored surface of the river. Around, there was silence, broken only by the soft splash of water and the distant whisper of palms on the shore. Slowly, as if in a dream, the boat glided past tall pyramids, which majestically rose to the sky. Their peaks seemed to touch the heavens, and their walls held secrets of thousands of years. Amar watched the stars reflected in the water and felt how calmness and silence filled his soul. The heron told him how the Nile gives life to the land, and how each star is an ancient spirit protecting the night world. The journey was only beginning, and ahead lay many magical stories and discoveries that would slowly unfold the mysteries of ancient Egypt before Amar. The boat gently drifted farther along the calm river. The water sparkled under the moonlight like 1,000 tiny mirrors. Amar felt the cool night air softly brushing his face, carrying the delicate scent of lotus flowers blooming quietly near the shore. The heron, perched gracefully at the bow, spoke in a soft, soothing voice. "Look closely, Amar. See how the river carries stories from long ago, from times when mighty pharaohs ruled and the gods watched over the land." As the boat passed, the soft glow of lanterns appeared by the riverbanks. Small fishing boats floated peacefully, their nets resting silently beneath the water. Nearby, ancient papyrus reeds swayed gently, whispering secrets to the night breeze. Far ahead, a great temple rose from the shadows, its tall columns standing like silent guards. The temple walls were decorated with paintings of gods and goddesses, Osiris, Isis, and Horus, whose stories spoke of life, death, and rebirth. Amar listened as the heron told him about these gods, their gentle power and kindness. The stars above twinkled slowly, like watchful eyes keeping the night safe. The boat moved smoothly. The only sounds were the soft splash of water and the distant call of a night bird. Amar felt his body relax more and more, as if the river itself was singing a lullaby just for him. "Remember, Amar," said the heron softly, "the Nile is a place of peace. It flows endlessly, carrying dreams and stories, and teaches us to move gently through life, just as the water flows around stones without hurry." The journey continued under the velvet sky, slow and calm, and Amar felt sleep drawing him deeper. Safe, peaceful, and full of quiet wonder. The boat floated quietly through the night, carrying Amar gently along the river's endless path. The soft glow of stars above mirrored in the water, creating a peaceful dance of light and shadow. As they glided past, the heron pointed toward a cluster of palm trees that swayed softly in the night breeze. Their leaves whispered secrets, telling stories of ancient times when the river brought life to everything it touched. "Look there, Amar," the heron said softly. "See the fireflies glowing among the palms? They are the tiny lights of the river's spirits, watching over the world as it sleeps." Amar watched the flickering lights, feeling a calm warmth spreading inside him. The gentle rocking of the boat matched the slow rhythm of his breath, deepening his sense of peace. Further along the shore, they saw a small village, quiet under the moonlight. The houses, made of sun-baked mud bricks, seemed to rest peacefully. Smoke curled softly from chimneys, mingling with the cool night air. A soft melody floated through the air, the song of a gentle flute, played by an unseen hand. It was slow and soothing, carrying the spirit of the Nile in every note. "The people here live simply and kindly," the heron whispered. "They honor the river with songs and stories, and their hearts are full of gratitude for the gifts of the land." As the boat continued, Amar felt his eyes grow heavier. The river's lullaby, the quiet night, and the gentle presence of the heron wrapped around him like a soft blanket. "Soon, Amar," the heron said softly, "you will rest deeply and dream sweet dreams of the Nile's magic." And with those words, the boat sailed quietly on, carrying Amar deeper into the calm, starlit night. The night grew deeper, and the river seemed to slow its endless flow, as if it, too, was settling into rest. The stars above twinkled softly, their light wrapping the world in a gentle glow. Amar's eyelids felt heavier with each passing moment. The gentle rocking of the boat was like a quiet heartbeat, steady and slow, lulling him further into peaceful calm. The heron, still perched at the prow, spoke in a voice as soft as the night breeze. "Do you see, Amar, how the river carries the dreams of all who live along its banks? Every ripple is a whisper, every wave a gentle secret shared with the stars." As the boat floated on, they passed by fields of tall papyrus, their feathery tops swaying like dancers in the moonlight. The soft rustle of leaves mingled with the quiet croak of frogs hidden near the water's edge. Farther ahead, a great statue of Anubis, the guardian of the afterlife, stood silently by the shore. Though mighty and solemn, there was a kindness in his stone eyes, a promise of protection and peace. "Anubis watches over those who journey through night and dreams," the heron explained. "He guides them safely, just as the river guides us now." Amar felt the comfort of this presence, as if wrapped in an invisible cloak of safety. The river's soft currents seemed to carry away all worries, leaving only stillness. The boat moved gently, the night air cool and sweet, filled with the scent of jasmine and warm earth. "Rest now, Amar," whispered the heron, "and let the river's song carry you into the quiet depths of sleep." The stars shimmered softly above, and the river hummed a lullaby only the night could sing. The gentle boat glided slowly onward, the river's surface smooth as glass beneath the shimmering moonlight. The night wrapped Amar in its calm embrace, like a soft, warm blanket. In the distance, the outlines of ancient temples appeared, their tall columns rising silently into the sky. The walls told stories painted in colors that only the night could preserve. Tales of gods and kings, of courage and wisdom. The heron spoke gently. "These temples were built to honor the gods who watch over the land. Each stone holds the prayers of those who lived long ago." As they passed, Amar saw the flicker of candles glowing faintly inside the temple doorways. The soft light danced and swayed like tiny stars caught in the night. Nearby, gentle lilies floated quietly on the water, their white petals glowing softly in the moon's glow. "Lilies are the river's way of breathing," said the heron. "They remind us to be calm, to take each moment slowly, just as the river flows without rush. The cool night air smelled faintly of honey and sandalwood, carrying the whispers of the desert winds. Amar felt himself sinking deeper into peacefulness, his breath steady and slow. Soon, you will drift into dreams, where the Nile's magic will weave stories only your heart can understand, the heron murmured. The boat moved with tender grace, carrying Amar farther into the quiet night. The river stretched endlessly before them, a ribbon of silver light winding through the sleeping land. The gentle current carried the boat steadily, like a soft breath flowing through the night. Above, the stars blinked slowly, their twinkle a quiet chorus that filled the sky with calmness. Amar's eyelids fluttered, heavy and warm, as the soft motion rocked him gently. The heron spoke again, voice smooth like silk. Long ago, the people of Egypt believed that the river was a living spirit, flowing with the memories of all who had come before. As they drifted past the riverbanks, Amar saw ancient fig trees standing tall and proud, their branches reaching like open arms toward the sky. Nearby, small fish shimmered beneath the water, their scales reflecting the moonlight like tiny jewels. The Nile gives life to all, the heron said softly, to plants, animals, and people. It teaches us to flow with patience and kindness, moving gently through the world. A soft breeze stirred the air, carrying the faint scent of blooming acacia flowers. The peaceful night wrapped around Amar like a gentle hug. Rest now, dear Amar, whispered the heron. Let your dreams sail on the river, guided by the stars and the river's quiet song. The boat floated on, slow and steady, carrying Amar deeper into the soft embrace of night. The night river shimmered softly, reflecting the gentle light of countless stars. Amar lay back in the boat, feeling the cool breeze brush his face as the gentle current carried him onward. The heron's eyes gleamed in the moonlight as it spoke in a low, soothing voice. Long ago, storytellers would gather by the riverbanks to share tales of brave pharaohs, wise queens, and mysterious gods. Each story was a thread woven into the fabric of their lives. As the boat floated past, Amar imagined the ancient gatherings, people sitting quietly around flickering fires, their faces glowing warmly in the night, listening to the soft voices telling timeless stories. Ahead, a gentle hill rose, crowned with blooming lotus flowers glowing faintly in the moonlight. The lotus, the heron explained, is a symbol of rebirth and peace, opening slowly as the sun rises and closing as night falls. The lotus reminds us, said the heron softly, that even after the darkest night, a new day will come, bringing light and hope. Amar's eyes grew heavier still, the peaceful rhythm of the river matching the slow beat of his heart. The boat's quiet glide seemed like a soft lullaby, a song just for him. Sleep well, Amar, the heron whispered. The river and stars watch over you. The night deepened, wrapping the world in quiet, and the boat carried Amar gently into his dreams. The river's gentle current carried the boat steadily through the still night. The air was cool and filled with the soft fragrance of blooming jasmine and warm earth. Amar's breath was slow and even. His body relaxed as the soothing voice of the heron filled the quiet night. Farther along the Nile, the heron said softly, there are hidden gardens where papyrus grows tall and the gentle breeze carries the songs of ancient birds. As they glided silently past the lush greenery, Amar saw the delicate wings of small birds fluttering in the moonlight, their feathers shimmering like silver. The boat moved quietly, the soft splash of water the only sound in the peaceful night. Nearby, the riverbank was dotted with smooth stones and soft moss, perfect places for small creatures to rest. These gardens are a secret treasure, the heron whispered. where the river breathes life into every leaf and flower. Amar felt the quiet magic of the night wrap around him like a gentle blanket. The stars above twinkled slowly, like tiny lanterns lighting his path. Soon, you will drift deeper into your dreams, carried by the river's slow song. The heron murmured. The boat floated onward, soft and steady, into the peaceful heart of the night. The night deepened as the boat moved slowly along the shimmering river. The gentle current whispered softly, like a lullaby meant only for Amar. Above, the stars twinkled quietly, their light casting gentle patterns on the water's surface. The moon hung low and full, bathing the world in a soft silver glow. The heron's voice, calm and soothing, broke the peaceful silence. Long ago, the Nile was called the lifeblood of Egypt. It brought water, food, and hope to the people living along its banks. As the boat drifted by, Amar saw families resting by small fires, their faces calm and warm in the flickering light. Children played quietly near the water's edge, their laughter soft and gentle in the night air. Every night, the river carries their dreams and wishes, the heron continued. And with the morning sun, it brings new beginnings. Ahead, the silhouette of a great sphinx appeared, watching silently over the land. Its calm face seemed to smile softly in the moonlight, guarding the secrets of ages past. Amar felt a deep sense of peace fill his heart, the river's slow rhythm guiding him gently toward restful sleep. "Let the river's song carry you, Amar," whispered the heron, "into the world of dreams, where magic and wonder wait quietly." The boat sailed on, soft and steady, beneath the quiet stars. The night sky stretched endlessly above, filled with stars so still they looked like they had been painted by a quiet hand. The boat drifted gently along the Nile, its movements smooth and effortless, as though it floated through a dream. Amar lay quietly, eyes half closed, breathing in the soft, cool air that smelled of river mist and distant blossoms. The heron stood silently now, wings tucked at its side, watching the water as it passed. After a long pause, it spoke in a voice like the hush of wind through tall grass. "Even the stars have stories, Amar," it said. "The ancient ones believed that when we sleep, our souls drift upward, following the river of light in the sky." Amar looked up. The Milky Way stretched like a silver path across the heavens, echoing the river below. He imagined that it too was a Nile, a celestial one, flowing between the stars and guiding sleeping hearts through the night. Along the shore, tall date palms waved gently in the breeze. Their leaves rustled softly, whispering lullabies older than words. A small owl hooted from a distant tree, its call low and slow, as if it too was dreaming while awake. "Tonight," the heron whispered, "the world is quiet just for you. Let your thoughts float like a leaf on the water. Let go, and let the night carry you." The boat rocked ever so slightly, a rhythm so subtle it could only be felt in the heart. And Amar, warm and safe, drifted deeper into peaceful sleep. The river, still and endless, wound its way gently through the sleeping land. The stars above glowed softly, their reflections dancing quietly on the water's smooth surface. Amar lay still in the boat, his eyes nearly closed, breathing in the quiet. The heron, ever calm, looked ahead into the night. Its feathers fluttered slightly in the cool breeze, as though stirred by dreams of its own. "Now we pass the valley of the wind," the heron said in a voice no louder than a whisper. "Here, the breeze carries the voices of the past, soft, kind voices that have long since faded into the stars." And as they passed a stretch of tall reeds, the air changed. A gentle wind brushed across Amar's cheeks, warm and light, like the touch of a feather. In the wind were faint sounds, not words, but feelings. A mother's comfort, a friend's laughter, a wise elder's story, all drifting softly through the air like invisible music. The people of long ago would come here to think, the Heron continued, to sit by the water and let the wind clear their hearts. The boat floated silently on, the breeze ruffling the water in smooth, sleepy ripples. Along the shore, stones carved with ancient symbols stood quietly, their edges worn smooth by time and sun. Fireflies blinked gently around them, their soft glow joining the moonlight in a quiet dance. Amar listened to the wind and felt it carry him, not just forward down the river, but deeper into calm, deeper into dreams. "You are safe," the Heron murmured. "You are carried. You are watched by stars and guided by the river's hush." And with that, the boat glided onward, toward whatever peaceful place the night would reveal next. The river narrowed gently, winding between quiet sandbanks where the golden desert kissed the edge of the water. The night was still, the silence deep and comforting, like a soft blanket wrapped around the world. Amar remained nestled in the boat, his eyes closed now, but his thoughts gently drifting along with the flow. The Heron stood nearby, watching the horizon where the sky met the earth, glowing faintly with starlight. "We are now passing through the whispering sands," the Heron said, its voice low and even. "Here, the desert tells stories without words. Only those who truly listen can hear them." Amar listened. The sand didn't speak in voices, but in hushes, long, slow breaths of warm wind flowing over the dunes. He heard memories in those winds, the creak of wooden wheels on ancient caravans, the gentle jingle of silver bracelets, the far-off sound of soft footsteps from travelers long gone. In the distance, shadows of old ruins rose from the sand like resting giants, silent, peaceful, watching over the desert with calm eyes that had seen thousands of years. A fox appeared at the water's edge, its fur glowing like bronze in the moonlight. It paused, looked at the drifting boat, then turned and vanished into the night without a sound. "The desert," whispered the Heron, "remembers everything, but it asks nothing in return. It simply waits, quiet and kind." The river grew wider again, gently pulling the boat forward, like the tide of a great dream. "Sleep easy now," the Heron said, voice fading into the night. "The sands, the stars, and the river are all singing the same soft song, and it is just for you." Amar's breathing slowed, steady and deep, as the boat floated onward, deeper into sleep, deeper into peace. The river now passed through a place so still, it seemed even time had chosen to rest. Tall palm trees lined the shores, their reflections swaying gently in the moonlit water. Crickets sang softly from the reeds, their song slow and steady, like a heartbeat of the night. Amar's breath was calm, his body completely at ease. He was deep in a quiet where nothing rushed, nothing worried. Only the gentle present remained. The Heron shifted slightly, its voice low and even. "We've come to the garden of quiet things," it said. "Here, every sound is soft, every thought slows, every creature breathes in time with the river." As the boat glided past the shore, Amar saw small turtles sleeping on stones, their shells glistening with dew. A family of frogs sat calmly near a lily pad, blinking slowly, not startled by the boat, but comforted by its presence. In the trees, fireflies floated like tiny golden lanterns, drifting in slow circles through the warm air. Even the wind was soft, barely more than a sigh. "It's said," whispered the Heron, "that dreams are born in this place." They rise from the water like mist and float into the minds of those who sleep with open hearts. The boat moved as if through a dream itself, so quietly that Amar could hear the soft drip of water from the paddle as the Heron gently guided them onward. "No need to search for dreams," the Heron said. "They are already with you, waiting patiently in the quiet." And as the night deepened and the world grew softer, Amar let go of all thought. The river, the stars, the garden. They held him gently, carrying him farther into peaceful sleep. The boat now floated through a stretch of river wrapped in soft morning mist, though the sky still held the deep blue of night. The mist curled gently above the water, moving like breath, silver and slow. Amar stirred just slightly, but not from discomfort. It was the kind of gentle movement that happens when one dreams something especially soft. His mind floated peacefully, wrapped in warmth and drifting thought. The Heron, standing tall, seemed to blend into the mist itself, its voice no louder than the rustle of a feather. "We are now passing the veil of memories," it said. "This is where old dreams come to rest, and where new dreams quietly rise." On either side of the river, the shapes of forgotten temples emerged through the fog, not ruined or broken, but simply sleeping. Pillars leaned gently toward the water. Stone carvings of gods and animals watched in silence, their expressions calm and patient. "The people who built these places," the Heron continued, "once looked at the same stars, felt the same breeze. And when they dreamed, their hopes floated on this same river. The water was like a mirror now, reflecting not only the sky, but the feeling of everything around it. Stillness, memory, peace." A cat stepped silently along the edge of one old stone. Its eyes, glowing faintly in the dark, met Amar's for the briefest moment. Curious, quiet, knowing. Then it disappeared into the mist. Amar felt a gentle warmth in his chest, like the kind that comes when someone remembers something kind and forgotten. But he didn't need to hold on to it. It was enough to feel it and let it drift away. "Let the mist carry what you don't need," whispered the Heron. "Let your breath stay light. Let your thoughts be soft." The boat drifted on, guided by quiet, wrapped in mist, surrounded by memory, and cradled by the endless dreaming Nile. The river now stretched wide and open, like a great lake beneath the stars. The sky above shimmered with constellations, and the water below mirrored them so perfectly that it seemed Amar was floating through the center of the heavens themselves. The Heron stood still, wings slightly open, as if feeling the pull of something sacred in the air. "We are now in the sea of stars," it said softly. "Here, the sky and the water speak to one another, and every ripple is a whisper from the stars." Amar looked upward, and though his eyes were half closed with sleep, he felt the presence of something vast. Not loud or grand, but gentle and knowing. The stars didn't shout. They simply watched and glowed and offered quiet light. A comet drifted slowly across the sky, its tail trailing like a paintbrush through darkness. Its reflection followed beneath, streaking across the surface of the river with equal grace. Tiny fish danced below the boat, their silver scales catching the starlight. They moved slowly, as if swimming through dreams instead of water. "There is nothing to fear here," the Heron murmured. "The stars have seen every story, every traveler, every heart that ever longed for peace." And Amar, still nestled in the boat, felt that peace like a warmth in his bones. There were no worries here, no questions, just the soft, endless drifting beneath a sky so kind it seemed to hum a lullaby. The Heron dipped its beak into the water, drawing up a single droplet that sparkled like a star, then let it fall gently back with a sound so soft it was like the blink of an eye. Sleep, it whispered. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And the boat floated on, surrounded by the sky, carried gently by the silent river of dreams. The river grew narrow again, weaving its way between soft green banks where tall grasses swayed like sleepers breathing in rhythm. The stars still shone above, but now their light felt warmer, closer, almost like a whisper resting on Amar's cheek. The boat glided without a sound. Amar's body was completely still, carried as though by air, not water. He no longer needed to wonder where he was going. He trusted the journey, trusted the night, trusted the gentle hush of the world around him. The heron spoke, its voice low and wrapped in silence. This is the passage of echoes, it said. Here, thoughts return to you, not as they were, but softer, kinder. As they floated forward, Amar began to hear things he thought he had forgotten. The quiet laughter of his mother in the morning light, the rustle of a breeze through linen curtains, the steady beat of his own footsteps on stone. But now, all these sounds were distant and sweet, as if heard through water or remembered in a dream. There is no need to hold on, the heron whispered. Let the river carry even your thoughts, and keep only the gentlest ones. The boat drifted past a low hill where papyrus plants rose from the shallows. Their green stalks leaned toward the water as though listening. A soft hum filled the air. Not a song, not a word, just the sound of peace. Fireflies returned, blinking slowly in the reeds. One landed on Amar's hand, its glow pulsing in perfect time with his breath. Even the light rests, the heron said, and its wings folded tighter around its body. Amar's mind began to blur the lines between waking and dreaming. He was no longer watching the night. He was part of it. Just another quiet thing floating gently toward morning. The boat now entered a place where the river barely moved. It was as if the world had paused to breathe, offering only silence, only stillness. A faint mist hovered above the surface, glowing slightly with the promise of dawn. Amar lay quiet, his eyelids heavy but his heart calm and full. Everything around him felt like a lullaby with no words, just presence. Deep, endless presence. The heron lowered its wings and settled beside him. This is the mirror waters, it said softly. Here, the river shows you not your reflection, but your rest. Amar gazed into the smooth water. There was no image of himself, no heron, no boat. Only shifting light and shadow, like the soft play of memory. It felt like watching his own dreams as they floated by, light as feathers. On the shore, a single acacia tree stretched its arms toward the sky. Beneath it, a pair of ibises slept side by side, their necks curved like question marks that no longer needed answers. The night grows gentle, said the heron, because it knows the day is near. But there is no rush. The dawn waits patiently, like a friend. A breeze passed through the tall grass. It didn't disturb anything. It simply reminded the world to exhale. The leaves rustled once, and then returned to perfect quiet. Far in the distance, a small drumbeat echoed. Not urgent, not loud, but steady, slow, like the sound of someone approaching in no hurry, simply taking each step with care. That is the heartbeat of the desert, said the heron. It welcomes us onward, one breath at a time. Amar did not respond. He didn't need to. His breath was soft. His thoughts were slow. He was exactly where he was meant to be. The river began to widen again, but not with urgency. It unfolded like a blanket, stretching gently beneath a sky that was slowly paling. Not yet morning, but no longer deep night. A single star still shimmered above, holding on just a little longer. Amar, wrapped in quiet and warmth, let out the softest sigh in his sleep. It wasn't from sadness or fear. It was the sound of being deeply at peace. The heron turned its head slightly, watching him with calm, patient eyes. "You are drifting into the place between," it said. "Not night, not day. Not dreaming, not waking. Just rest." The sky turned a shade lighter. Soft pinks and faded golds stretched at the edges of the horizon like paint brushed over silk. The stars began to vanish one by one, not fading, but stepping back. On the riverbank, lotus flowers opened slowly, touched by the early light. Their petals were pale blue and ivory, and they seemed to sigh as they unfolded, like someone stretching after a long, beautiful sleep. A crocodile lay on a warm stone, unmoving and at peace, eyes closed in perfect stillness. Birds perched above in papyrus reeds began to shift slightly, but none yet sang. "There is a hush," the heron whispered, "a sacred quiet before the world begins again." Amar could feel that hush. It wasn't emptiness. It was fullness wrapped in stillness, like being held by something greater, something ancient and kind. He felt no need to open his eyes, no reason to move. He trusted the river, trusted the heron, trusted the light that approached so gently it was almost like a dream itself. And so the boat drifted on, wrapped in the softest silence, carrying Amar toward the first breath of dawn. The river had grown smooth as polished glass, and though the sky was changing, it changed gently, like a dream sliding into another dream. A pale gold light rested on the horizon, not rising, not rushing, just waiting. Amar remained curled in the boat, eyes closed, but his breathing now followed the rhythm of something older than sleep, the rhythm of the Nile itself. The heron did not speak. It simply watched the sky, its eyes reflecting the faintest shimmer of morning. It knew that this moment, this quiet just before light, was the softest kind of magic. Across the water, a line of palm trees stood like sentinels, their shadows stretching long and quiet. And beneath them, little birds hopped slowly along the shore, not yet calling, only watching. The world seemed to hold its breath. Then, with the lightest touch, a single note of birdsong rose into the air. Not loud, not clear, but enough. The heron turned to Amar, still sleeping. "Even the smallest sound," it said softly, "can open the gates of morning." The boat began to glide more slowly, as if the water itself wanted to pause, to stretch out the dream just a little longer. And Amar, though still asleep, smiled. He didn't wake. He didn't need to. The dream had become his world, and the world, in turn, had become a dream. Somewhere behind the sky, the sun waited with patience, knowing that even day must begin as a whisper. The horizon slowly blushed with soft colors, tender peach, pale lavender, and gentle gold. The sky, once dark and mysterious, now felt like a quiet promise. The river mirrored this awakening with gentle ripples that caught the light like tiny flames dancing on water. Amar's breathing deepened, smooth and steady, as if the river itself was cradling him in a slow, peaceful lullaby. His dreams floated gently like the petals of a lotus drifting on the current. The heron spread its wings wide, silhouetted against the awakening sky, then turned toward Amar with eyes full of quiet wisdom. "This is the moment," it said softly, "when night and day meet in a gentle embrace, when dreams fade softly into waking, and the world breathes a new beginning." A soft breeze stirred the papyrus reeds, carrying the faint scent of blooming jasmine and warm earth. The birds began to sing, not loudly, but with sweet, gentle notes that felt like a song just for those who listened closely. Amar felt the warmth of the sun's first touch, not sharp or bright, but like a tender hand resting on his cheek. He did not open his eyes. Not yet. Instead, he let the calm wash over him, the perfect quiet before a new day. The river carried the boat slowly forward, through the soft light, into the world that awaited. Fresh, full of promise, and as gentle as the dream that had brought him here. And with that, the night's journey came to a close, not with an ending, but with a peaceful beginning. As the sun continued to rise, the colors of the sky deepened, soft pinks melting into warm oranges and golds. The river, now kissed by morning light, shimmered like a ribbon of silk weaving through the earth. Amar's eyes fluttered open slowly, like the unfolding of a delicate flower greeting the dawn. The gentle warmth of the sun embraced him, filling him with a quiet strength and peace. Around him, the world was waking up softly. Birds chirped their first songs, and the distant hum of insects began to stir. The heron stood tall at the bow of the boat, its feathers gleaming with dew, watching the horizon. "This morning," the heron said in a voice calm as the river's flow, "is a new story waiting to be told. A story of light and hope, of beginnings and endless possibilities." Amar smiled softly, feeling the promise of the day stretch before him like the river itself, wide, calm, and full of gentle wonders. The boat drifted slowly onward, carried by the steady current, as the world around it blossomed quietly into life. The sun climbed higher, casting a soft golden glow over the river and the lush banks on either side. Shadows grew shorter, and the air filled with the gentle warmth of a new day. Amar stretched his arms slowly, feeling the calm strength that comes from a peaceful rest. Around him, the world buzzed quietly. The rustle of leaves, the gentle splash of water, the distant call of a heron echoing softly. The boat continued its steady journey, moving with the current as if carried by the river's own breath. Flowers along the shore opened their petals wide, revealing colors bright and delicate. Pink lotuses, pale blue irises, and white water lilies. The heron looked at Amar with a soft gaze. "Every morning is a chance," it said gently. "A chance to learn, to grow, to find joy in the small things. The river teaches us that life flows on, always moving, always changing, yet always calm beneath the surface." Amar nodded, his heart light. He knew the journey was not just about traveling on the river. It was about the quiet moments between, the whispers of nature, the stories held in every ripple and breeze. The sky above was clear and wide, inviting endless dreams and possibilities.